being a school social worker in the Bronx, I was really able to work with kids in the classroom. A lot of kids don't want to come out of the classroom for counseling. So there's a lot of shame involved in like, what? At the time, I was Miss Velez, my maiden name. So I'd be like, Miss Velez is coming to get me. No, I don't see Miss Velez. And like my students would be very afraid of anyone finding out that they had a mandatory counseling with me. So I would just start pushing in, to classrooms and helping ELA teachers make stories come to life in the classroom. So we would end up doing a lot of just interacting with the text creatively. So getting the students to role play scenarios in the fiction text that we were reading, or getting them to rewrite, right, the endings of stories. They were clearly very emotionally invested in a lot of the stories that we would read. And that's always what biblical therapy is about. Like, we want to work with the emotions that get elicited when we're reading. So getting students to be like, well, what do you think about the way she handled that conflict? Oh, you didn't like the way she handled it. What would you have done? Right? If you would have done X, Y, or Z, what would the outcome have been? Right. So we're also teaching like critical thinking skills while we're teaching reading comprehension, but we're making it fun. Even getting kids like, okay, let's write a letter to this character. If you could give this character feedback on how they handled the situation, or just, wanted to share a little something about how you can relate to the path that this character was on, the hero's journey that this character was on, what would you say? And teachers loved it because they started getting support in the classroom, right? Like, teachers deal with a lot in classrooms. They're very isolated. They're managing behavior while they're trying to teach, while they're getting observed, so there's a lot going on. So it was a win for me, a win-win for them, because I was able to build rapport with my students, destigmatize mental health in the classroom, eventually build relationships with the kids where they could get to know me, and eventually get them into the counseling room with me without there being that heavy stigma. And also the teachers got to learn a little bit about the intersection between literacy and mental health.